Hey friends, I'm Corinne, and I'm going to school you in everything Star Wars in under 10 minutes. Here we go. Basically, there's three trilogies. You've got your OGs, your prequels, and then your JJs. Apparently, the OGs have been being continuously ruined because the universally hated George Lucas keeps updating them to reflect the garbage prequels. But anyway, I digress. The OGs are all about the bad guy in the black dress and helmet, Darth Vader, trying to rule the universe or destroy the universe or something, along with the Emperor, who's like this pinkish, wrinkly Dementor. Then you've got these all-around BAMFs, Han Solo, Chewie.com, Princess Leia with the good hair, and Luke Skywalker, who is least BAMF in my opinion. And you also have these two robots, Trash Can R2-D2 and super annoying gold member C-3PO. The first OG movie, or the fourth episode or something, starts with Princess Leia putting her little hologram self into the R2-D2 floppy disk slot because she's looking for Obi-Wan, which I know, because I'm an expert, is our guy Ewan. But he's old Ewan in these OG films. He has since gotten the Disney Plus treatment and gotten all his own shit, so we know that she's looking for old Ewan. Somehow, don't worry, it's not important, all the BAMFs meet up and they're all trying to defeat Darth Vader and his army or whatever, who've got this big cookie-looking Death Star, rebellion force and lightsaber shit, etc., etc. And I guess because it's important, Han shot first. Later, old Ewan ends up getting whacked into a puddle of clothes, but the BAMFs do their thing in the X-Wing planes and they blow up the Death Star and stuff, and then they get medals. Now we're in the second OG film, which starts with Luke on the David Hasselhoff planet freezing to death. I guess Han and Chewie.com wanted to do their own thing and go and be thieves again or whatever, but good thing they didn't, because Han finds brick-ass Luke and brings him back to Leia and all their rebel minions. Then, all the bad guy stuff happens, and the BAMFs think they're going to get help from Billy D. Williams, but he turns out to be a two-timing sumbitch. Darth Vader then sends Fetty Bob to go get the BAMFs. Meanwhile, Luke is with Yoda, and Yoda's being the backpack while they do the Force shit until Luke ditches school to go save his friends. Somewhere in there's also some incest going on, but we don't know that it's incest yet. Then Leia with the good hair is all like, I love you, and Han's like, I know. Red flag, super douche. And he gets dipped in the silver shit, and Fetty Bob is going to bring him to the big fat Jabba slug for some money or whatever. Luke fights Darth Vader in a really inconveniently designed room and gets his hand chopped off, and Darth Vader's all like, I'm your daddy, and there's a scream, but then Leia comes and saves him in Han's Millennium Falcon, and he gets a fake hand, and two-timing Billy D goes with Chewie.com to save Han from the silver shit. The last of the OGs starts with everybody trying to free Han from Jabba's silver ice thing, and Leia's in the every guy's fantasy gold bikini. Han gets free, Fat Jabba gets whacked, his house gets blasted, and the BAMFs escape. And then Luke feels like going back to school, but Yoda's basically in hospice. Old Ewan's blue Force ghost tells him Leia's his twin, thus the earlier incest. They gotta fight Darth Vader, who's building another Death Star. There's a new planet with these little hooded teddy bears and big metal dinosaurs, lots of space creatures and shit, no need to keep track. Once again, the BAMFs and the rebel minions go in to destroy the Death Star. The Dementor Emperor wants Luke to be bad, but he's like, nah bruv, so the Dementor's like, fuck you, and starts to torture him, but all of a sudden Darth Vader feels like not being a deadbeat dad, and he redeems himself, kills the Dementor, and then he dies in Luke's arms like a good guy. Then they have a funeral or whatever, and Luke sees the blue Force ghosts of his dad, Yoda backpack, and old Ewan. Then Han and Leia get jiggy with it, happily ever after, blah, 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 end scene. Now, on to the prequels. Basically, a shit ton of shit happens, and none of it matters. Here's all you need to know. Darth Vader becomes Darth Vader, starts with baby Darth, played by Jingle All the Way, riding cars in the Sandy Beach planet. You've got Taken with the long hair doing some Force shit, and this Monsters Inc. looking Jar Jar guy that everybody hates. There's a new villain that's got this red and black face paint and rhinoceros horns, and he ends up dead too. Jingle All the Way grows up into Hans Christian Andersen. Ewan wants him to be the savior or whatever. He stalks and bones Natalie Portman and knocks her up with Luke and Leia, and then he decides to be bad and murders a bunch of kids. Ewan fights Hans Christian Andersen on the lava planet. His body gets all jacked, and he ends up in the black dress and the helmet. Darth Vader, Transformation Tuesday, complete. Last but not least, we've got the most recent trilogy, the JJs. Everybody from the OGs is ass old, and we've got new baby BAMFs. Rey, hot as fuck Poe, a new trash can robot BB-8, and Finn, least BAMF. The new villain in the little black dress and helmet is Kylo Benren. He's got a huge boner for his grandpa Darth as well as Rey. Like, why are you so obsessed with me? There's also a guy named Snoke who's basically the same as the wrinkly Dementor from the OGs, and he's manipulating Kylo Benren. OG Bamf Leia with the good hair is like Lieutenant Colonel of the Rebellion now or whatever. OG Bamf Luke is like MIA, nowhere to be found. OG Bamf's Han and Chewie.com fix up the Falcon, which at this point is like a Flintstones era vintage vehicle. Honestly, nobody really knows what's going on here, but Finn and Poe make the cutest couple that Disney just won't let us have. The biggest thing, basically, is that Kylo Benren is actually a Solo, the product of Leia and Han boning, and he kills his daddy. Then Leia hugs Rey instead of Chewie.com, and it makes no sense. JJ film number 2, which I think actually has nothing to do with JJ, but whatever, is pretty weird. Rey is like obsessed with getting Luke to be a Bamf again, but he's hermiting it up because he's punishing himself because he feels responsible for Kylo Benren going bad. The baby Bamfs are like all over the place. Finn gets a half-assed love interest in a stupid casino, once again because Disney won't give us the Finn and Poe romance we all deserve. Poe is just armying it up, and Kylo Benren is literally jerking off to visions of Rey 24/7. Then there's this weird hallucination battle between Kylo Benren and his Uncle Luke, but Uncle Luke is actually just a force projection doing him a bamboozle as a distraction. Those hijinks are apparently exhausting, and Luke dies into a puddle of clothes. In the last JJ film, we wrap all this shit up. The OG wrinkly Dementor is back somehow, and he wants Kylo Benren to kill his spank bank Rey. Rey is doing Force School, only without a Yoda backpack. We get some weird composite Leia character on account of Rip Carrie Fisher, and she does the Force shit in order for Rey to beat Kylo Benren. There's like some overarching rebel shit going on, and I don't really get it, so you don't have to either. Basically, Kylo Benren becomes a Solo again so he can make out with Rey and then die. The OG and baby Bamf rebels win, and Luke and Leia become Blue Force Ghosts so that Rey can decide her last name is going to be Skywalker. And now you've got all this standalone Disney Plus shenanigans, like Ewan running around, Rosario Dawson with the zebra pigtails, and Chulito Pedro Pascal behind a helmet all the time. But that, my friends, is Star Wars. Congratulations, now you're an expert. Like me.